Hi everyone, welcome to Kaushik's Patishala. This is CA Kaushik Mukesh. Today we are going to discuss about one very important concept in our FEMA chapter, which will be called as a judiciary. So here today in this revision session, I'm not just going to tell the overall approach to the judiciary and FEMA. I'm going to make an in-depth interpretation of a new section that was added by the Finance Act, which will be called as section number 13, 1A, 1B, 1C and 1D. So what exactly the judiciary means and how judiciary will get affected in the chapter called as FEMA, and what about the judicial authorities under FEMA, how adjudication happens, are all the penalties or some fines are involved, everything under FEMA is a civil case or a criminal side. So all these things to know. So let's start our particular session on this FEMA judiciary. So first one, as you already seeing on the screen, judiciary under FEMA, judicial setup. Point number one, civil judiciary. So what exactly the civil judiciary represents? What is the meaning? So judiciary means a court, the place where we get the decrees, not decrease. I'm talking about decree. Okay, where we get decrees, where we get orders, where we get directions, where we get the decisions, where we get the judgments. That place where an authority sitting and giving a judgment is called as judiciary. FEMA is having a civil judiciary or a criminal judiciary. All offences under FEMA are civil offences will be a blatant wrong answer. Once upon a time, this statement is 100% true, but an amendment was made to the Finance Act 2015, which got effected from 2016, applied for examinations from 2018 onwards, but no question has been, as of now, was asked in examination. Civil judiciary is already there, but FEMA is not just civil. FEMA also have criminal proceedings. That criminal proceeding has been added by the Finance Act 2015, which is very important and not yet tested for the examinations. So it is quite important to understand that this is a pertinent concept which can be asked in the upcoming CA final examinations. Today we are going to concentrate completely, focus on these new sections that were added, 13 1A, 1B, 1C and 1D. So judiciary will be of two types, civil and criminal. Actually, in our normal sessions, some chapters like NCLT, NCLT special courts, we used to take 3-4 days. That means it will be running into 20 hours totally. But here we can't spend that much time to introduce you, because the persons who are listening to this already aware of the civil and criminal judiciary. That's a presumption with which I have to start, because this is a revision session. I'm not going to tell what is civil, what is criminal, who will be the parties inside civil and who will be the parties inside criminal, how prosecutions will be made, how adjudications will be made. All these things we have in-depth discussed in the chapters NCLT, NCLT and special courts. Now I'm going to discuss only about how judiciary works in FEMA. I'm not going to discuss what is civil judiciary and what is criminal judiciary and waste the time. So let's have a look into that. Civil judiciary under FEMA is having the following authorities: adjudicating authority, special director appeals, appellate tribunal and high court. Criminal judiciary, actually criminal judiciary is not there, but criminal cases will be there, but not by any separately established sessions court, special court. It will be by a sessions court. What is the difference between special court and sessions court? This is also discussed in depth in our normal classroom sessions. I told you why it is called as a sessions court and what is a special court. All these things we discussed in company law very much in detail. Actually, I told you the CRPC provisions as well in the class. So I'm not going to concentrate on this area. I'm going to tell how criminal judiciary works under the amendment 13 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. I will be discussing on that very clearly, but I don't want to discuss about what is special court and what is sessions court and what is the difference between both, because we already discussed in section number 435, read with section number 437, read with section number 441. 41 will be discussing about compounding of offenses. Okay, with this let us start our concept. Let us first see the charts. Basic analysis of section number 13. Section 13 of FEMA will be the charging section for penalties. What is that? Charging section for penalties and contraventions. Okay, well, first thing, contravention by whom? Contravention by any person. So any person means whom? PRI or PROI or authorized persons, or whom? Every person, not just that person and this person, every person. That means the other day when we are discussing about capital account transactions under FEMA, we discussed one very important issue saying that there will be many partitions inside any law, act, notifications, rules, circulars, orders, directions, etc. Orders and directions are applicable only for authorized persons. Okay, I already shown you the live RBI direction and master directions given to the authorized persons, offshore bankers, and AD category number 1 already when we discussed in capital account transaction. If you have any doubt, please go back to the capital account transactions video and make a look. Now I am not going to tell about that again and waste the time. So main thing that I want to convey is contravention committed by whom? Contravention committed by any person. That person can be PRI or PROI or authorized person. Any person may commit a contravention. Contravention of what? Act, rules, regulations, notifications will be made by PRI, PROI or authorized person. But directions and orders can be contravened only by an authorized person, because as a PRI, you will not be given a direction by RBI. Directions will be given to the authorized persons. Already I discussed about this very clearly in capital account transactions concept after the exports were discussed in our revision class. If you have any doubt, please go back to the exports video, and after the exports video I discussed about authorized person on that day. Next issue. Next one. What is contravened? Act, rules, regulations, notifications, directions and orders. What is the consequence if it is contravened? Shall be liable to a penalty. How much penalty? Quantifiable contravention, non-quantifiable contravention. Sir, what is this quantifiable, not quantifiable? Contraventions under FEMA can be of two types: amount related contraventions and declaration related contravention. Not understandable. Very good. I will explain you an important thing here. For example, when we have done some export, we have to declare full export value in the export document or not. Already we discussed in export chapter. I made contravention in disclosure. Disclosure contravention is not a monetary contravention. Disclosure contravention is a non-monetary contravention. In that case, 2 lakh will be the penalty. I have committed a contravention in monetary way. That means I have entered into callback services money transfer. I said that I am transferring or remitting money for some purpose, but I am using some of the amount for purchase of lottery tickets, purchase of band magazines, purchase of a football pool, purchasing of a sweepstakes and gambling tricks outside India. Actually, those are prohibited under FEMA. If you do that, some amount of foreign exchange is being remitted outside India or not. Therefore, some monetary amount is involved. In that case, if it is quantifiable, 3 times the amount involved will get attracted. That is the first thing we need to understand. So, you committed contravention, but you didn't stop. You are going on contravening like that, or that contravention is continuing for days together. Then, per day, 5,000 will be levied. And these are all you should understand, not exceeding. Even this is also not exceeding. Next issue. Whenever there is a penalty, who shall levy a penalty? Penalties will be always levied by adjudicating authority. Who will levy? Adjudicating authorities will levy the penalty. This amount of penalty, whatever we have discussed here, will be levied by a person or an authority called as adjudicating authority. Who is an adjudicating authority? We will discuss later. But adjudicating authority levied a penalty. Once the penalty is levied, within how much time I should pay the penalty that has been made? Levy penalty, but I have to pay that penalty now. That should be paid within how many days? That should be paid within a period of 90 days from the date of imposition of the penalty. So let's have a look. Time limit and basic consequence. Time limit. Within 90 days from the date of service of notice, you should pay the penalty imposed. If I don't pay, what will happen? If the penalty amount is exceeding 1 crore, then civil imprisonment of 3 years will get attracted. How many years? 3 years of civil imprisonment will get attracted. In all other cases, if the penalty is around not more than 1 crore, if it is 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 2 lakhs, 1 lakh like that, in such cases, 6 months of civil imprisonment. To be clusterizing and in a nutshell how to discuss, section 13(1) will be talking about a consequence of a contravention. It will be having a penalty. pay the penalty properly within 90 days, matter ends there. If you don't pay the penalty within 90 days, you are liable for a civil imprisonment. You will be liable for a civil imprisonment for a period of not exceeding, for a period of not exceeding 3 years if the amount is exceeding 1 crore. In all other cases, for a period not exceeding 6 months. Now, every person will get a doubt. Sir, what is the difference between civil imprisonment and criminal imprisonment? We have heard about the concept of imprisonment, but what is this civil criminal? There is a difference. Once we go back to Schedule 5 concept under the Companies Act, in Schedule 5, Part 1, if you see in Schedule 5, there are 4 parts totally. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. Part 1 will be talking about the terms and conditions for appointment of managerial persons being MDWTD manager. And second part will be talking about the remuneration. Third part will be talking about excess remuneration, approval of Part 1 and Part 2 in general meeting. Part 4 will be exemptions that were given. In part number 1, there are again 4 sections. Previously 5 sections used to be there. Now conditions, actually not sections, there are 5 conditions. In that, 4th condition has been deleted by the Companies Amendment Act recently. 4 conditions are there. In that first condition, if you observe, if you have paid a fine exceeding 1000, or if you are liable for an offense and imprisoned. Offense is of a criminal nature, this is of a civil nature. That means if you are imprisoned under FEMA, then Schedule 5 Part 1 Condition 1 will not get affected, because the idea behind the law is this particular type of penalties are not covered by that particular section, because offenses are only governed. So civil cases are not governed by that. That means civil imprisonment will not disturb your Schedule 5 appointment. Okay, next, even when you are seeing the disqualification, imprisonment for contravention for the offenses, this is not an offense, this is only a civil contravention, not an offense. We will see the offenses in 13 1A 1B 1C 1D later. After discussing this, I will be discussing about the complicated concepts. Okay, next issue. Anyway, one thing is very clear: pay the penalty properly within 90 days. I will leave you. If you don't pay the penalty within 90 days, you will be having another bumper of a civil imprisonment of 3 years up to 3 years. If the amount of penalty is more than 1 crore, in all other cases, it will be up to 6 months. Next issue. After that, additional consequence. What is the additional consequence? I levied a penalty. You didn't pay the penalty properly within the time limits that I have given. What to do? If you are not paying it properly, I have to take some action or not. First thing, what I have said, you will be liable for a civil imprisonment. Now apply the common sense on this aspect. I have to pay some penalty. Let's say penalty of 3 times the amount involved. Amount involved is $1,000. $1,000 into 3 times will be $3,000. 3,000 into, let's take 70 rupees, it will be 2,10,000. 2,10,000, I have to pay the penalty or not? I didn't pay within 90 days. You took me to the civil imprisonment and put me in a jail. Okay, civil jails are there. Civil imprisonment, they put me on a basic imprisonment provision. They kept me in a jail. Okay, they kept me in a jail for around, since it is only 2,01,000, they kept me in a jail for 15 days. Now, answer my question. I came out of the jail again wearing a white shirt, Pundur Khadar, again I came out of the jail. Now, answer my question clearly. You have paid a penalty now? No, even though you didn't pay the penalty, you just have a imprisonment done, but still penalty is not paid. It is still have a due to pay to the government. Therefore, I will recover all the penalties that you have to pay as per the provisions contained in the Income Tax Act. That means I will recover amount from your personal properties, attachment of bank account, attachment of mobile property, attachment of immobile property as provided in Income Tax Act. Additional consequence: AA shall order an officer of enforcement directorate to recover the penalties imposed under section 13 and if not paid within 90 days, and recover as per Income Tax Act 1961. So this is the first ground reality provision that we need to understand. Next issue. You may be surprised. So section 13, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, you said very important amendment by Finance Act, but you are not discussing, you are skipping to section 15. 13, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, I will be discussing separately once we complete section number 15 and all the other adjudication and judicial provisions. Okay, because 13 1A 1B 1C 1D will come at the last to this video. Okay, please watch that properly. If you skip that, అనవసరంగా ఎగిరిపోతారు ఎగ్జామినేషన్లో అడిగితే. సో ప్లీజ్ pay some attention on that particular section 13 1A 1B 1C and 1D. Okay, next issue, section number 15, compounding the contravention. Sir, what is compounding? Sir, compounding contraventions will be divided into 5 types, or basically 2 types: compoundable, non-compoundable. Compoundable will be of 3 types again: fine only case, fine or imprisonment case, fine or imprisonment or both. Non-compoundable, fine or imprisonment, sorry, there is a mistake, fine and imprisonment only. I repeat once again: compoundable, fine only, fine or imprisonment or both. Non-compoundable, fine and imprisonment only. Now, this chart you can read later. What is compoundable? I will first tell that and I will continue. Compounding is a concept of conversion of fine and imprisonment, or fine or imprisonment or both, into a lump sum fee. That means I don't want to pay the fine because many reasons are there. Actually, I said just now, whenever you commit certain contravention or an offense, if you have to pay a fine, once you pay a fine, you are disqualified under the managing director's route to become a managing director under Schedule 5. Many people don't want to get stained with the payment of penalties and fines in their name. For example, if you ask Mukesh Ambani to pay a fine, he will not pay a fine. If you ask him to pay a penalty, he will not pay a penalty. For example, FEMA authority levied a fine of 10 lakhs. He will not be paying the 10 lakh fine. He will be ready to pay a compounding fee of 1 crore also. That means money is not important for me. I don't want to get stained by, my name should not be getting defamed that Mukesh Ambani has paid a penalty. Fees is different, penalties and fines are different. The provision of escaping the fines is called as a fines, and imprisonment is called as a compounding. More about this we can refer section 441. As of now, I don't want to go beyond this. Simply one line answer: conversion of fine only, or fine or imprisonment, or both, into a lump sum fee is called as a compounding. If the provision is a fine and imprisonment provision, if the provision is imprisonment only provision, in such cases offenses are not compoundable. For example, let's go back to the normal provision what we discussed. Section number 13. In section 13, if you can observe, if I commit a contravention, 3 times the penalty, 2 lakh rupees. Here, imprisonment is involved or only monetary amount is involved? Only monetary. This can be taken as a fine only case. This is compoundable. Which section is compoundable? 13 is compoundable. If you don't pay this within 90 days, which section will get attracted? 14. 14 contains only imprisonment. This will become civil case or a criminal case? Sorry. This will be a fine only case or imprisonment only case? Imprisonment only case. This becomes non-compoundable. Therefore, even in the Bail Act, if you refer, here in this FEMA chapter, see here, section number 15, nature of contravention. Contravention of section 13 only. Why not section 14? 14 is having imprisonment only. Imprisonment only will come under non-compoundable offenses or compoundable? Non-compoundable. Therefore, this is the situation. Next one. Who is a compounding authority? Some person has to compound or not? Some person has to convert your fine and imprisonment into a lump sum, fine or imprisonment into a lump sum fee or not? That person who will compound is called as a compounding authority. Under FEMA, who is a compounding authority? Director of Enforcement Directorate, an officer of Enforcement Directorate, or officers of RBI. And once you apply for compounding, they have to complete that within 180 days of making your application for compounding. Once you make a compounding, fine will be totally removed, fine will be totally escaped, imprisonment will be totally escaped, you will be providing a complete relief. No prosecutions will be launched against you. Next issue, adjudication under FEMA. So what is adjudication? Now let's come back to the story. When you have already seen, there is a conclusion provided in section number 13. What section 13 said? A PRI, let's take the first example, PRI. There is a PRI. This PRI has contravened. Contravened what? Contravened a regulation. And it is quantifiable. Four conditions are satisfied. Let's say PRI made a contravention of a regulation which is quantifiable. Now, if this be the case, three times the amount involved, up to that amount I can levy a penalty. Now, I ask you one question. Who said you that I am a PRI? Who said you that I am a PRI? నేను PRI నీకు ఎవడు చెప్పాడు? సరే నేను PRI. Who said you that I have contravened the provisions of FEMA? సరే కాంట్రవెన్షన్ చేశాననే అనుకుందాం కాసేపు. Let's say that I committed a contravention. Who said that I committed a contravention of a regulation? నీకు ఎలా తెలుసు? How do you know? And how do you know that this is a quantifiable contravention? All these four things, that means whatever we read in section number 13 is only a conclusion. If you have contravened the provisions, but who said that I contravened? Who said that I am PRI? Who said that I said that I contravened the regulations? Who said that the amount is quantifiable? All these things will be done by an authority called as adjudications. Next revision chapter will be the SCRA chapter. Even there you will find adjudication. Adjudication will be find all pervasive in your syllabus. That means you will find this in FEMA, you will be find this in SCRA, SEBI, PML, everywhere you will find the concept of adjudication. If you don't have a clarity on civil judiciary and criminal judiciary and company law, here you become a big zero. That's what I told you many times in the class. So if you want to have a perfection when you are reading any kind of law, have a knowledge on the judiciary properly. No clarity on judiciary, useless of reading the law. This statement please underline properly. Useless of reading the law. Because most of the times whenever you go to any law, always you will find court cases. Court is a judiciary. Unless and until you know who is the authority and what are its powers, what nonsense we are reading in any act. So therefore, that's why in classroom we use it to spend a lot of time on this judiciary aspect. Hope everyone listening to the class is already having a knowledge on a judiciary concept. Okay, what is adjudication? Now everyone understood at least to some extent. That means who don't attend the class, or who attended class and who forgot, or who attended the class and absent technically in the class on that day due to many reasons better known to them. So because of many reasons you might not listen on that day, or if you have already listened but forgot, no problem, at least listen now. The point is adjudication under FEMA. Who said that I am a PRA? Who said that I contravene? Who said that I contravene regulation? Who said that it is quantifiable? It is said by an adjudicating authority. That means adjudication is a process of holding an inquiry. Through that inquiry, I will be knowing that you are a PRI. Through that inquiries, I will be knowing that you have contravened. Through that inquiry, I came to know that you contravened the regulation. Through that through that inquiry, I came to know that it is quantifiable. Once all the conditions are satisfied, I will impose a penalty under section number 13. As simple as that. Answer completed. This is the purpose of adjudication. Civil authorities and their hierarchy under FEMA. FEMA, every act will have a hierarchy in judiciary. Adjudicating authority. Next level, special director appeals. Next level, appellate tribunal. Next level, high court. Section 35. These are the corresponding sections we are going to deal now. Next, flow diagram on adjudication and appeals. So let's try to understand this very clearly. Four sections I merged into a single flow chart. Listen carefully. Flow diagram on adjudication. Person committed contravention. Adjudicating authority will conduct an inquiry by giving an opportunity of being heard and impose penalty under section 13. Once you impose a penalty, immediately the other party on whom you levy a penalty need not pay the penalty. He may challenge your decision or an order. Am I clear or not? That's called as an appeal. Therefore, look here, very important point is there. See here. This adjudicating authority has a power to ask for a guarantee or a bond from the person on whom the levy penalty is made. That means penalty is levied on me. From me, that adjudicating authority may ask a guarantee or a bond such that I will not abscond from India and go out like Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi. To not in order not to allow the persons to cross the territorial borders of India, I may ask them for giving a guarantee or a bond. That means I will ask them to provide their immobile property documents to the adjudicating authority. If you abscond out of India, we'll sell the properties in India and get the penalty back. That's the idea behind. So, and adjudicating authority will be established by the central government by notification official gazette. So let's try to understand the overall idea. Person has committed a contravention. Adjudicating authority will first conduct an inquiry, giving an opportunity of being heard and impose a penalty. Two situations can happen. I may pay, I may challenge. If you pay, no problem. If you challenge that particular thing, then this will get attracted. One thing I want to convey. See here. Um, when it comes to adjudication in FEMA, there are two options available. Option 1, option 2. This is what I have given also in the chart. But let me explain by writing this first, such that you can understand clearly. Two options are available. Option number 1. First, adjudicating authority will give a decision. I was aggrieved by the orders. Go to Special Director Appeals. Special Director Appeals also I am aggrieved. Then go to Appellate Tribunal. There also I aggrieved. Then go to the High Court. Option 1. I went to adjudicating authority. Aggrieved by the orders. Go to Appellate Tribunal. Again aggrieved. Go to High Court. Now you may ask a question. So then why special directors? Now I will explain the concept. If you want a complete judicial process and adjudication process, you can go by a very good route called as an AA to SD, SD to AT, AT to High Court. I want a fast completion of my adjudication. AA to AT, AT to High Court. Now you may get a doubt. Sir, why AT is there and why SD is not there here? Why this fast making process is there? Actually, what happened is, appellate tribunal that was established here is not established under FEMA. FEMA don't have any appellate tribunal. FEMA is having a shared appellate tribunal called as SAFEMA. Don't remember as FEMA. Smugglers and Foreign Exchange Manipulators Act. Under this act, there is a tribunal. To that tribunal, you have to go if you want to go for an appellate tribunal. That means, from this, what you can understand, AA is to adjudicate the penalties. ST is to hear appeals against the orders of AA. Appellate tribunal is to hear appeals against the orders of special director. High court is to hear the orders appeals against the orders of AT. Now everyone repeat the answer. AA is to adjudicate the penalty. SD is to hear appeals against the orders of adjudicating authority. AT is to hear the AT. The purpose of AT is to hear appeals against the orders of SD or against the orders of AA also. So that's what you need to understand. Sorry. Okay. Look here. There are two options available. Option 1, option 2. Established by CG to hear appeals against the orders of AA. Who is this? Special Director. And appeal to Special Director, again OBH will be given. Again go for an appeal to the AT and it will be within 180 days. A judgment will be given. Next one. First thing, option 2, appellate tribunal directly. That means AA to appellate tribunal, AA to SD, SD to appellate tribunal. This is a route. And lastly, you will go to the High Court if there is a question of law within 60 days. So you can see the flow chart. Already document will be provided. You can see the flow chart there. Directorate of Enforcement. To apply the provisions of this act, whether FEMA is working properly or not, simply I can tell like this. How assessing officer for income tax, how ROC for companies act, same thing enforcement directorate for FEMA. Whenever you want to do something, RBI will authorize enforcement directorate to do that. You have to do everything only with the directorate of enforcement. Okay. So section 36 says that Directorate of Enforcement is established by CG by notification in official gazette, and hierarchy will be assistant director, top deputy, top special, top additional, top director. This is a hierarchy. Rank number 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. This is hierarchy provided. Okay. Next issue. What is the purpose? Whatever act is said you to do, please do that. That's why to exercise the powers and functions and to discharge such functions conferred under this act. Conferred means officially given. Many times we will see this word called as conferred. Conferred means to give officially. Okay, through law it has to be given. You will find this word conferred in additional directors. In additional directors concept section 161 subsection number 1. Articles of a company may confer on the board of directors to appoint a person, not being a person who fails to get appointed by the company in a general meeting, to act as an additional director at any time, who shall hold office up to the date of next annual general meeting or the last date on which the annual general meeting should have been held, whichever is earlier. In that additional director, the first beginning words, the articles may confer on its board of directors a power to appoint. Confer means articles has to officially give. Here also same word. That means officially what act has said enforcement directorate to do that only. Don't do over action. That's the idea behind. I have officially said that you have to do this. Whenever in the act I use the word enforcement directorate, then only you should do that. If the enforcement directorate word is not used anywhere in the section, don't presume that that can be done by enforcement directorate. That becomes over action. Also in our legal terminology, it's called as ultra vires the constitutional powers. Okay, not ultra vires memorandum. It's not Companies Act. It's called as ultra vires the Constitution of India. Okay, next. Power to make search and seizure. Enforcement Directorate has a power to make search and seizure, not below the rank of Assistant Director, conduct investigation and have a like powers of Income Tax Authority. And other departments like Central Excise, Customs, Police, officers of CGST has to support the Enforcement Directorate in its investigations and searches and seizures. This is all about the judicial setup under the FEMA. All these things, current account transactions, we already completed in the previous video. And one small thing, by mistake, in our capital account transactions concept, in our video, by mistake it happened. Actual explanation I said that, but when I am writing that, I made a small mistake. So please rectify that. By mistake it has happened. In capital account transaction video, 6th minute after capital account transactions when we discussed, let me go back. Let me show you. By mistake it has happened. Sorry for that. See here, by mistake I have said here like this. Asset is purchased in rupees, loan is also taken in rupees. If this is a capital account transaction for PRI or not? Yes, this is a capital account transaction for PRI, but this is not a capital account. This is a capital account transaction for PROI, but this is not a capital account transaction for PRI. By mistake, I made a tick mark even here. I explained here correctly, but by mistake, I have made a tick mark here. So please rectify that. Hope everyone can understand that it is by mistake it has happened. So I thought that you have rectified this already even before I discuss in this, but as a responsibility, I am again taking it. When the asset is purchased in rupee by taking a loan in rupee, that is not a capital account transaction for PRI because there is no flow of foreign exchange. This is a capital account transaction necessarily on both asset and liabilities route for a PROI. By mistake, I have taken the tick mark also to the above point. Okay, please rectify that. Okay, next issue. Now we are coming into section number 13, 1A, 1B, 1C and 1D. So before we come into that, judiciary, everyone, section 13, 14, everyone understood. That's my presumption. So this is a full chart on penalties under FEMA. Have a look here. Contraventions under FEMA. There are two types. General contravention, special contravention. General contravention means what? Contravention of the act, rules, regulations, notifications, circular directions, orders, etc. In that case, section 13.1 will get attracted, 13.2 will get attracted. Sir, where are these 13.1, 13.2? All these things will be there in our original material provided to you in the class. Okay, this is a revision session. I can't give you entire material in charts. So I want to complete only the main points that are applicable for the examination point of view. So please write down this chart in a separate page. Please everyone pause the video and write this chart first, and thereafter you can do the rest of the things. So, and I am very clear, those who already being confident that I have already completed FEMA, those people, please ensure that are you having a full clarity on this particular aspect, section number 13 or not. So take it a call. So please listen carefully. If you don't listen properly to section 13 analysis, you will be gone if a question comes from this area. So listen carefully. So 13.1 and 13.2, what it is all about. If you do a general contravention rules, already we read, penalty will get attracted. Quantifiable 3 times, non-quantifiable up to 2 lakhs. Continuation 5,000. If you pay within 90 days, section 14 will not get attracted. If you don't pay within 90 days, section 14 will also get attracted, which have a civil imprisonment of 3 years or 6 months as the case may be, exceeding 1 crore, not exceeding 1 crore. Completed. There is a new provision. Next issue is section 13.2 said that along with all the things whatever we discussed here, your property will also be, that means the foreign exchange you acquired, if it is acquired, that foreign exchange will be confiscated. Like foreign exchange, any currency or security or any amount. For example, there is a section called as a possession of foreign exchange. Beyond $2,000 you should not hold anything. You should not hold anything beyond that. I am holding $3,000, excess 1,000 will be confiscated and penalty will be levied. As simple as that. But section 13 1A 1B 1C is of a clear distinction from the original things. See here, special contraventions. What is the special contravention? Section 13 1A to section number 13 1D. Condition number 1, acquisition of foreign exchange, foreign currency or a foreign security in contravention. There any act, rule, regulation, notification, direction, order has been contravened. Here any foreign exchange or foreign currency or foreign security is acquired, holding not covered, transfer not covered, dealing not covered, only acquisition is covered. And moreover, the value of that particular foreign exchange, foreign security in an aggregate, it should be exceeding rupees 1 crore, not $1 crore. Then no one will get attracted by the provision. Exceeding rupees 1 crore in Indian value, it should be. In such case, section number 13 1A to 1D will get attracted. So one ground rule. First thing, acquisition of a foreign exchange, foreign security or a foreign currency, foreign immovable property, foreign exchange, foreign currency, foreign security or foreign immovable property in contravention. If you acquire and the value is exceeding rupees 1 crore, 13 1A to 1D will get attracted. What is this 13 1A to 1D? 1A says that penalty of 3 times will get attracted, everyone will get a doubt. Already there is a penalty of 3 times. That and this both will get attracted or not. Question number 1, I will answer that later. Okay. Penalty of 3 times will get attracted and confiscate not that property acquired outside India. Confiscate, for example, I acquired immovable property outside India. That immovable property outside India will be acquired in rupees or in foreign exchange. Let's say it is in dollars. It is around $10 lakh. $10 lakh into 70, let us take some amount will come. $10 lakh into 70 will be 7 crores. Indian value 7 crores will be confiscated in India. That property will not be confiscated. How authorities in India can confiscate foreign properties? Therefore, value equivalent in India, I will confiscate. For example, you are having a big bungalow in Hyderabad which is costing around 8 crores. I will confiscate that. I will sell, give back you 1 crore and take back 7 crores. That's the idea behind. Okay. So, penalty of 3 times and confiscation. Section number 13 1B, what it is talking about. Not only this, AA will recommend prosecution. Prosecution means a criminal complaint will be lodged against you. Recommending a prosecution to ED. ED is also satisfied that this person is guilty of an offense. Direct a prosecution by filing a criminal complaint. Along with this penalty, you shall also be liable for a fine, unspecified fine. This is the funniest part. How much fine? Whatever the judiciary want to levy on that day, that will levy that fine. So fine and imprisonment. Since this is a fine and imprisonment, non-compoundable. So imprisonment of not exceeding 5 years. That means in addition to the penalty 3 times and the confiscation, you shall also be liable for a fine and imprisonment. And who shall file a complaint before any court? Any officer not below the rank of assistant director. This is what said in section number 13 1A 1B 1C 1D. Since I made a chart, since I broken the section into part, this was very easy resemblance to you. If you directly read from the Bail Act section 13 13 1A 13 2, paralysis will come definitely. If you want to test whether paralysis will come or not, please refer to the Bail Act. Then you can understand the importance of our revision class. So the main point is section 13 1A 1B 1C 1D is broken. Now contemplate properly. 4 parts will be there. Part 1 1A. 1A will be talking about penalty and confiscation. Part 2 will be talking about lodging a criminal complaint. Part 3 will be talking about 1C, which will be talking about along with the penalty, fine and imprisonment not exceeding 5 years. And lastly, criminal complaint will be lodged by an officer not below the rank of assistant director. Now the real story starts. This is the basic analysis. Now interpretations will start. This is only for your understanding sake. May not be asked in examination in that much depth. Okay. Now the question starts. Let me show you the Bail Act. See here. This is our class notes, original class notes. See here. Section 13, penalties. Contravention by whom? Any person. Of what? Act, rules, regulations. Quantum of penalty 3 times 2 lakhs, etc. Whatever we say. And 13.2 will say that property will be confiscated. Property will be confiscated by the central government. Okay. Now 13.1a, 1b, 1c, 1d. What these are all about. 1a. If any person is found to have acquired any foreign exchange, foreign security, human property situated outside India of the aggregate value exceeding the threshold prescribed under subsection 1 of the section number 37. What is the threshold? Already I have given here. It is 1 crore. He shall be liable to a penalty up to 3 times the sum involved in such contravention and confiscation of the value equivalent situated in India. So value equivalent situated in India. Okay. This is what I said already in the chart. Now what you should understand, section 13 already we have seen. Now answer my question. I acquired foreign exchange, foreign security, removed property outside India in contravention. That means I contravened the act or not. If you contravene the act, rules, regulations, etc., already penalty is levied. And again here also again he is telling there is a penalty. Now which penalty? That penalty plus this penalty. Now listen. 13.1 is a general section. Generally, if you contravene any act, this is called as a rule of harmonious construction. When there are two sections which are highly susceptible, that both are almost same intention, when two sections are colliding with each other, harmonious interpretation said that specific section should prevail over general section. I contravene disclosures with section 13, 13 normal. I contravene the provisions of FEMA by acquiring a foreign immovable property in contravention. Now specific, this will get attracted. Both will not get attracted, person will die. 6 times the penalty will get attracted. So common sense. So both will get attracted. No, this is separate, this is separate. This is a specific provision, that's a general provision. Next, this is what I said. Pause the video and see the notes. You can understand what I said. Chart will give every idea behind. And along with, in addition to the penalty, punishable with imprisonment and also with a fine. Fine not specified. And a complaint will be made by assistant director. This is what I said. Everyone, I think everyone understood the discussion whatever I made today in this particular session. This is all about the contraventions in judiciary under FEMA. Next session, since one important announcement, since because of the lockdown in India, internet service providers in my hometown are not working since the past 2 to 3 days. Therefore, I couldn't upload any video. So from tomorrow, regularly we'll get some updates in respect to the videos provided. And this particular chapter called as a FEMA has been completed. Amendments will be covered separately, because amendment session I'm going to conduct another amendment session will be conducted. But before going into that, the next chapter we are going to start is Securities Contracts Regulation Act. So hope these revision sessions are useful for you. Please convey this about the channel Kaushik Pathshala to your friends. Ask them to subscribe such that the benefits will go to a large number of people. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon such that you will get regular updates onto the channel. So thank you very much. We will be looking after to another session with regard to this car chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay home and stay safe.